Hey guys, it's Rachel at From Women's to Milestones, and I'm here today with our Get Well Soon class. These cards and projects feature the Wish You Well dies from Doodlebug, and they are so sweet. These are little tissue boxes. This one says, "You're too awesome to be sick. Hugs to you, feel better, I really mean it. Get well soon." And then we're going to make this sweet little tissue holder. Feel better, hope you're back on your feet soon. And then we have this little, it's like a little pill bottle. It's just a little plastic tube that we've put some paper with pills on, and then you can fill it with lots of fun things to maybe give to someone who's not feeling so good. So if you get a kit, all the kits are pre-cut for you. You will get that tube. You won't get the package of Kleenex, but the written instructions are there if you're not going to follow along here, and then on the back a list of all the supplies I used to create these kits. So we will jump in with this first project, the Pill Better Soon. And got my kit here. So we're going to dump everything out, and then one other thing I will say that we are going to use is the Distress inks, and I have all the colors here. Maybe I can line them up and you can see them. So we've got Peeled Paint, Festive Berries, Lost Shadow, Salvage Patina, Mustard Seed, Frayed Burlap, and Kitsch Flamingo. And we're going to use these to ink up our die cuts and whatnot. So for this one, we're going to need the Salvage Patina, and I use the Lost Shadow on anything white. And then the red if you want. I didn't put any red on the word pill. You could if you wanted. I think I'm just going to let it be. So I've got those ready to go. We aren't going to use them just yet. We're going to go ahead and put together our little holder here. So I'm going to get out some double-sided tape. And I believe yours maybe look something like this. So what you want to do is find all the score lines. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And reinforce those. Use my bone folder to do that. And then what you're going to want to do is lay it in front of you and fold at that first line after the circle, and then you have this little tab here. So that is where we're going to put some adhesive. Take that off. I'm going to get out my little, I don't know what I did with that. I have a little tool that helps with that, my sticky thumb, but I'm not sure where it is at the moment. Okay. So I have that adhesive exposed. I have it folded here, and what I'm going to do is at that first fold line, I'm just going to fold it down flat, and that is going to give me a nice square box. You can certainly try to line it up yourself, but this will ensure that it's nice and square. Okay? And now you should have 3 pieces of white polka dot paper, and we are going to stick those down. So this largest piece is going to go on the back panel, and these are Doodlebug Happy Healing papers that we've used as well. I'm just going to center that on there, and then this one here with the circle is just going to go right around that circle. Alright, and then this last panel is going to go on the front. Center that on there. Alright, so we've got our panels on there. And now this piece here is going to go inside your pill bottle. So let's talk about that. So you get this little bottle in your kit and some things that will fit in there. Obviously I've got some cough drops fit in there. What else did I have? I bought these little packages of Advil. You can get them in Tylenol as well. You can kind of roll those up, and those will fit inside. You could Send someone a little extra vitamin C if they're not feeling so hot, and you can roll that up. That fits in there as well, like so. And another idea I have is a tea bag. So if you roll that up however you want, that will also fit inside. So just some ideas of something you could pass along to someone that's not feeling so well. So those are some different things that will fit in that little tube. But for today, we're gonna roll up this paper. So I'm just gonna take my bone folder and do just this right here, and I'm getting it to curl. And I'm gonna do it on the other side too, so that. And now it's ready to go. I'm just gonna roll it up, stick it inside. Mine has a little defect. None of the other tubes look like that, but you're gonna stick the lid on. So that is super cute, and that goes right inside that hole, like so. Mine doesn't move. I put a couple foam squares on the bottom to keep it in place. So if you're looking to give it away and you don't want it to fall out, you're going to need two because it's kind of recessed. So you put two foam squares on top of each other and stick it down there. Okay. Let's see. For the top of our pill bottle, I'm going to put this white circle on top. And then we're going to put our little red heart. So I'm just going to, I didn't center that on there very good. Let me try that again. There we go. Glue tool there. And then we're just going to put that heart right on top. And now that can fit inside. Alright, so now we need to put together our little glue bottle. So before we do that, I'm going to get out my inks so that I can color it or give it some dimension. So I'm going to use Salvage Patina, and I'm just going to go on the edges. Same on the lid. Alright. And then we need the Lost Shadow. And we're just going to put some shadows on the edge of our label. I'm just going to do the two sides. Alright. So now we can put this together. So we will start with the label. I'm going to get some tweezers. I'll line that up on there. Any place is good. Alright. And then you have the word pill. And that is going to fit across the label. Should fit just perfectly. And these are a Dress My Craft alphabet. That's how we got the word pill. So I am going to get them lined up. No, this is working better. Alright, so I have them lined up the way I want them, and I have a piece of Glad Press and Seal. This will come from your kitchen, and I'm going to lay it down and pick it up. And now I can just put, I'm going to trim it, no, it's fine. And then I can put glue on the back of the letters. And then get that on there right where I want it. There is that. And then I also need to put my lid on. right, so there's our sweet little pill bottle, and I'm just gonna, I didn't pop that up, I'm just gonna put glue on the back. And I'm gonna tuck that right here. It's ever so slightly hanging off the top. And then you have your Better Soon, and I did pop that up, so I'm gonna see if I can find a foam strip. And I'm going to line that up across the bottom of the pill bottle, and it should go from end to end on the blue, just like so. Pill Better Soon, and we're almost finished. We have some little, these are from the Doodlebug collection, the little enamel shapes. They're little pills. They're so cute. You can put them wherever you want. You can put them around the top. I have mine just in the corner down here. So I'm just gonna layer them up. Just like so. And now that project is finished. All right, our next project is this little Kleenex holder, the Feel Better, Hope You're Back on Your Feet Soon. And it goes together very similar to the little pill bottle holder. So we'll start with that. It's very similar. You're gonna score on all the score lines. Reinforce those. With nice sharp edges. And then just like before, we're gonna put the adhesive right there. Get out my double-sided adhesive. All right, so we're gonna fold right at that first fold after the oval, lay it flat, and fold it onto itself. And now you have a perfectly squared Kleenex holder. So this little guy will just slide right in there perfectly. And if you pull out the tissues, it is going to fit just great. I will give you a little tip. I tried to get away with not buying the Kleenex brand, and all the other brands open from the top, so it makes it a little more difficult to pull them out from the center. So just a little tip if you're trying to do this and you want to buy a different brand. Every other brand I tried, which I bought 2 others, open from the end. So a little tip for you, so you don't have to waste your money like I did. All right, so let's put on the heart papers. So we got this largest panel here, and that is going to go right here. There we go. And then you've got your oval, and mine did not line up so well because I used a punch and my punch moved when I punched mine. So I'm going to just trim off the edge a little so it's not so obvious. You may have to do that too. So you may want to make sure they're all lined up and even. If it really matters to you that they look super even all the way down, you may need to trim all of them. But I'm just going to take a little bit off of this one, and I think it'll be just fine. If I were going to do this again, I would have used the die so I could line it up exactly where it needs to be instead of the punch. Also another tip. Alright. So there's that. And then you have the little thin strip of hearts. And that is going to go on the front, right, on that little front panel. So now your little tissue box is all closed. And you could put a white panel back here. You could certainly be able to write any little message you wanted. You could put more pattern paper, but we just left it as is. And then you have this Feel Better, and that is going to get centered inside the heart paper. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. go. And now we can build up our little die cuts. So we'll do some inking first. So we're going to need the pink, the green, the yellow, and the red. So no blue this time. So the green is peeled paint. And let me find my peeled paint dauber. There it is. So I'm just going to add some green to the edges. And on this one, I like to just kind of open that up a little and get the edges of that edge of the bowl as well, because our little soup's going to sit in there. So that's the green. And then we're going to use a little bit of the mustard seed for the soup. So what I did is I just came in on the sides, so it's a little darker on the edges. Tried to blend it out. And all right, so I am going to glue that soup in there. Just like so. And then you have this gray scrap, and so what we're going to do is just cut it in half. And you're going to end up with two pieces, and these are going to go behind each one of your die cuts for the eyes. I'm just going to put a little glue in between the eyes. That should be enough to hold it in place. And stick that down. There we go. And then let's go ahead and ink up our tissue box. I've got the Kitsch Flamingo. I'm just going to do the edges. And then let's do I'm just going to do the edges of this one as well, like so. That's got a little highlight. Okay. And lastly, I'm going to use some more of the Lost Shadow on the white. So I'm just going to do a little on the edges of the Kleenex, just like so. That's it. And then here, when we put our tissue box together, so this piece is going to go right here. I didn't want that to be bright white. So right here on that little slanted part, I'm just going to go in and rub some. We're going to cover it all up anyway. So I'm just going to rub some of the Lost Shadow across it, and now we can put it together. So I'm going to start with this piece here. It's going to go right on top. It should line up just so. Alright. And then we're going to put down the top of the box. That up too. Alright, and then for our tissues, so what I did was, let me get out my foam. Where are my little foam squares? There's some. So I am going to cut one in half. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put foam on the top of the Kleenex and just glue straight down the bottom, so it kind of looks like it's popping out. So there's two little pieces of foam on the top and a line of glue at the bottom. And then we're just going to tuck that up against the hole. You can have it in the middle, but I have it tucked all the way up. And I'm going to hold this down here, and then this part remains popped up, and that little white behind creates like a dimensional layer. And there's your sweet little Kleenex box. And then we have the spoon, which I have it here. You could also tuck it inside the bowl if you wanted. Tucks in. So it's up to you, however you want to do it. But we're going to put that onto this little white panel, like so. So I glued down the Kleenex box first, and I did pop up the soup. I'm just going to hold them and get them where I want. That looks good. I'll put foam on the back of that. Got my little heart. And the spoon. I'm just going to glue it. I'm just going to put a little glue right here in the center where it's going to lay. And you could put some foam on the other parts that are going to show up. There we go. So there's my spoon. And then we can, what I did was I pulled off this little sticky tab, and I'm going to wrap that around the back and seal it down so they could actually pull it out and still use it. Get them started. And then tuck it in. And there is your Feel Better project completed. Our next project is the Get Well Soon card. And I think we will start inking up our die cut. So I'm going to put everything else aside, and I'm going to lay everything out here. So this is your bottle, that's the label, that's the cap, and then you have a circle. Oh, it looks like we're missing the heart that goes on the center of that, aren't we? That's kind of a bummer. Oh, nope, there it is. I found it. All right, and another red heart that goes there. Then you should have 3 Band-Aids and 3 Band-Aid faces. And then you're going to want one of these gray strips to go behind the Band-Aid faces. And then you also have 4 different scraps of craft. And you have 3 that are the same and 1 that's a little bit thinner. You need the 3 that are the same are going to go with the Band-Aids. Okay. We got those together. And then you have the cup. That remaining craft is going to be your tea or coffee, whatever you've got inside. You're going to need another gray scrap for his eyes, and then you're going to need these pieces here, the 2 arms and the heart. And then for the remaining, the little water bag, you have the water bag itself. This is a portion of the top. We're going to cut off a white cap, and then these 2 little strips go on top of the cap. And then you're going to need this gray. So let's start with this guy here. So we'll go ahead and ink him up with the blue. This is Salvage Patina again. All right. And then I'm going to trim this down. I probably don't need all that. I'm going to glue that to the back. Alright, there's his eyes. And then we're going to get out this. These are all stuck with press and seal, and I'm not going to lie, these were hard to get out. So I suggest cutting up right next to it. And then I'm going to take my tweezers and kind of start to pull it back. And then you can get it out of there. Okay. And then we're going to need these two little pieces as well. So I'm going to go ahead and cut close to the top here. All right, so I've got them out of the press and seal. I'm going to, so there is a notch, and then it cuts in, then another notch, and that's where we're going to cut right after that notch straight across to the other, and that's how we're going to make our little cap. Okay, and so I'm going to take the lost shadow and just get the edges. I think I need a little ink on there. The edges of both sides. And then I'm going to glue that on. Alright, so there's a little cap, and then those two little skinny white pieces are going to go on as well. So I'm going to get the edges of both of those. Put some glue on the back. And one's going to go across the bottom. And one will go across the top. So there's our little water bag. He's so sweet. I got some glue on him. Okay. And let's do our pill bottle next. So we're going to need that salvage patina again. Then the lost shadow for the white. I'm just going to do the edges again, and then the cap. I'm going to do that same. I'm just going to do the right and the left side. It kind of creates a highlight in the center, highlights that round shape. And then mustard seed for the little yellow label. I think I'll leave that heart alone. You can add red to it if you want, but it's so tiny. I'm going to get more ink on my fingers than I will onto the red. So, okay, if you choose, it's Festive Berries is what I used, or any coordinating ink. And I'm going to put that label on. And then the cap. Top. Great. And then the little circle is going to go in the middle of the label. And then the heart in the center of that. Just like so. So there is our pill bottle. And let's do our little mug next. So I'm going to start with the little tea or coffee portion. So for brown, I used frayed burlap. And what I'm going to do is just come in dark from the sides and fade out. So dark, fade in like that. then I'm going to place it, knock those eyes out. I'm going to place it over, so it looks like so, and then we'll trim away what is excess. So I'm just going to put some glue around the top and here. Line it up where I like it. And then I'll just trim away what I can see. Alright. So there's that part. And then we're also going to need to put this behind the eyes. I'm going to trim it down a little. That. What I forgot to do was add some yellow ink to my coffee mug, so let's do that. I've got mustard seed again. I'm just gonna on the outsides. And then try to get some on the inside of that mug. Alright, and then I am gonna put just a little. I'm going to get my hands here and I'm going to make sure they're right side up. And I'm going to put my finger on the hands and then I'm just going to darken the arms. This is totally optional. Alright. So what we're going to do is add that heart just below his smile. Add the heart. And then we're going to add those little hands. So what I did was I added a little dot of glue on either side. I'm going to use my tweezers. Alright, so it's going to look like that, and then I'm going to put a little just on the edge. Line up his hand on that dot that I put down. There he is. There's one hand. And let's do the other. And there he is. He's so cute, holding his little heart. Alright, so your coffee mug's done. And now we are down to the Band-Aid. So let's start with these 3 solid strips. And I'm going to make those darker. So I'm just going to add some ink. Mostly concerned with just the edges. And these are going to get glued to the back of the Band-Aid so that those little holes are a little bit darker. Okay. And then let's go ahead while we have our ink out and just ink the edges of the Band-Aids. And you want to poke out any of those little things that aren't poked out. And then I'm going to get their faces. And I'm not going real heavy, right? We don't want them to look like dirty Band-Aids. Alright, so there's that. Clean up my surface a little bit. Okay, so let's put these together. So let's cut some little strips. 1, 2, 3 for the eyes. trim off the excess. They look like they might be a little too big. Them over and cut off what we don't need. Alright, so there's that. We don't need these gray scraps anymore. And now we're going to glue these to the back so you can see that where those holes are, that behind makes the holes darker. Some dimension, so I'm going to put some glue on my hand. Sometimes this works best, especially with how that has all those holes. And then I'm just going to line it up, making sure those holes are covered. Perfect. Another one. Go. And one more. All right, so there's the Band-Aids. And then we're going to put the little faces on, and I did not pop those up. They got that gray paper behind the eyes, which will help lift it up a little too. So there is one. All right, we have all of our die cuts done. So now we can put our card together. The last thing I'm going to do before we put our card together is go ahead and try to get these hearts out of the press and seal. So let's put our papers on. So we have this reddish pink cross paper. And we're going to put that in the center of our white card base. Okay. And then this piece is going to go on the left edge of that red cardstock. Just like so. And then this piece, I pop mine up. It's totally up to you if you want to do that or not. Alright, so there's the Get Well Soon, and I'm just going to center that on there, making sure that Get Well Soon is also straight. Okay, and then we're just going to layer up our die cuts. So I will go in and tuck foam as needed, but I'm going to put some tape runner here on the side. That piece is somewhere in there. And then we have the little mug. Him on as well, and you can use wet glue too. I like to use tape runner until I'm sure because it's easier to remove. And then we've got a Band-Aid. So now I'm going to tuck that down a little bit more. That is why. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then up here at the top, we've got the water bag. I've got one Band-Aid tucked here and something like that. So we'll put this guy on first. He's going to be right there. And then just like so. So then him. And I popped up my water bag. I'll put some foam on there. He is so cute. And then that card is finished. Oh, actually it's not finished. I forgot to put on the little pink hearts. So I just kind of have them spread around these images. So 1, 2, 3. And you can put them wherever you want. There they go. Now that card is finished. Time for our final card. You are too awesome to be sick. Love that. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Let's just get our papers down this time. We're going to put that striped paper onto the center of our white card base. You should have a white border. And then this "You're too awesome to be sick" is going to go at the bottom. I just got something on mine. Some ink transfer. Alright, let me get out my little mono eraser. That should take care of it. And it did. Lifesaver. Okay. That part's done. Let's go ahead and build up our tissue boxes, which we have done before. So I'm going to get out my Lost Shadow and ink up the tissues. One, two, three. And then I'm going to add some ink where that hole is. Okay. And then we are going to ink up the pink. There's the pink. And then the blue. Do the red, which I don't think I've gotten out the red yet, but that is Festive Berries. All right, so let's put them together. So we need to add the, whoops, I put that on the wrong side. We need to add the gray. I really hope I'm on camera here. We're going to put the gray behind the eyes. Perfect. And let's go ahead and put on our tissue box tops. Pink. I'm doing this left-handed. That's not going to work. Okay. See if it's, there we go. Put on the red. the blue. And we'll go ahead and put on the fronts. There's that one. Two, and the red. And for the tissues, let's get some, I think I'll just use, yeah, we'll just use some strips. Cut them down. Put wet glue at the bottom, tuck it against the box, and repeat. All right, when I put that on, I'm going to pop it up, so I'm going to go ahead and get the foam out for that. Now we're ready to line up our little tissue boxes in whatever order you want to do. It's up to you. Here I have red, pink, and the blue in the middle. So I'm going to put this little guy down. Put down the blue. And then this one I popped up. So I think I'm going to use some of this foam that I used earlier. I'm going to pop him right in the center. So, and then we have our little sentiment. So, peel off backing on that. I just kind of have it like all three little tissue boxes are talking. So you can, it doesn't have to be perfectly centered, whatever looks good to you. There they go. And then I'm going to finish with this little heart down here, and I have another mark on my paper. I now have red ink on my finger, so let's get rid of that. Put the little dab of glue there, and my heart, and that card is finished. All right, guys, that does it for this class. I hope you enjoyed these fun get well soon cards. What a way to brighten someone's day when they're not feeling well. If you have any questions about these cards or you want to purchase a kit, you can look us up on the web at www.frommomentstomilestones.com, and you can search up our card kits there. This is called the Get Well Soon card kit. We will see you next time.